Hello everybody, welcome back to the HUBient channel. My name is Nikki and I'm so glad that you clicked on this video today. I am so excited today because Ikea is finally opening. I have been anticipating Ikea opening for I can't even tell you how long because I love Ikea a lot. So the Ikea in Pasay beside Mall of Asia is the biggest Ikea in the world. I'm so ready for my feet to hurt from walking all day. But more than that, they said, according to articles I've read, that there's a restaurant, there's a bistro, there's a cafe, and there's a food market. I want to try all four, but we'll see where it's gonna get us. But this video, I think, fingers crossed, will be the restaurant. I won't talk for much longer because I actually had to book a slot or like appointment to be able to actually enter Ikea, and I'm running late. But before I leave, please don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the HUBient channel, and ring that bell so you are notified every time we upload a brand new video. From here on out, you're gonna hear voiceover Nikki, so I'll see you at the end of the video. So here we are at the Ikea Swedish Restaurant. At the front of the restaurant, there are a few screens that show you a glimpse of their menu. And actually, upon arriving, I was told that there would be a 2 to 3 hour wait. And as frustrating and as overwhelming as that number sounds, I decided to line up anyway because this is what I came for. The area itself is quite spacious. The floor is huge, if I'm being honest. However, it was just super crowded, and a lot of the people there were not practicing social distancing. I will admit though, the actual restaurant itself is quite cool to me. There are charging locations, which I think is pretty awesome, especially if you're going to be waiting in line for 2 to 3 hours. But generally, I got huge cafeteria vibes from it, considering how you order the food and how you pay for it. It really reminded me of my college days in Benilde. My cafeteria was exactly like this. Thankfully, Ikea's restaurant has trolleys, so you don't have to feel anxious or nervous about ordering a lot of food and carrying a bunch of trays to your table because they have trolleys. So it's quote-unquote, I guess, self-served. You get a trolley, put a few trays, get your spoons and forks and glasses, and you're good to go. At this point, I had been waiting in line for about an hour. It was not fun, my feet were hurting, I was starving, but I had finally gotten to my trolley, so I knew it was just gonna go uphill from here. After I got my trolley, the first thing I saw was the desserts. So best believe, I got a few plates of that, and after the desserts is the salad. Initially, I wasn't gonna get a salad, but like I said, at that point, I had been waiting over an hour. I might as well get as much as I can. After the salad, you get to the, I would call the chef station, where you reach the chefs and you tell them your order. They serve it surprisingly efficient. They communicate so well. They have like a system, a line in which they just pass the plates on to one another, and I was just so impressed with the way they were serving me. I would get my food in like less than a minute, maybe a minute maximum, and they actually cared quite a lot about the plating as well. At one point, I was wondering where my food was, and they were like, oh, we were just wiping down the sides, which again was quite impressive to me. The only thing I didn't get from them is the mushroom soup, which I had to get myself, which was actually a little bit terrifying because the pots were bubbling. They were rumbling because of the boil that they were at. But aside from that, it was a really nice experience. Getting the food was super fast and efficient. it gets a 10 out of 10 from me. The one thing that I found incredibly inefficient is the paying process, the cashier, because by the time I was done paying for my dishes, my food was cold. After paying, it was time to look for a table. Now, this is where I get a chance to rave about how convenient the trolleys were, because I can't imagine carrying trays and looking for a table. As you can see, I am struggling to find a table in this incredibly crowded restaurant. So the trolleys are just super convenient, and I do appreciate it because with a trolley, you don't have to put all your food on the table all at once. You can kind of just have it to the side and pick your food out when you want to eat it. So again, I just think it's super convenient, especially with how hard it was looking for a table. The drinks at the IKEA restaurant is self-serve and unlimited. So after putting down my food, I had to look for the drink machine. And when I did find it, I had to, well, pour it myself. So we decided to get sparkling pear and sparkling lingon berry, which is what I saw most people drinking. And I love that they're all sparkling drinks. They're technically like healthy sodas. So that's a plus from me. The first thing I tried out was the mushroom soup. And as amazing as it was incredibly flavorful. It had actual pieces of mushroom in it, like a lot of mushroom in it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to because, like I said, it got cold by the time I was at my table. So I just feel like I would have enjoyed it better if it was piping hot, but the thing is, it was not. However, flavor-wise, it really was good. To be honest, I'm not sure what to tell you about the salad. It's literally just vegetables with Thousand Island sauce. It was good. I mean, don't really know what to tell you about the salad. It's just vegetables. It did taste very fresh though, I will say that. Now, here we are with the star of the show. Anyone who likes IKEA food knows that IKEA is known for their meatballs. Honestly, all I can tell you was I was so happy to taste this again. I eat this a lot back home in Hong Kong, so to taste it here in Manila was just so nice. Plus, with the jam, honestly, if you don't eat meatballs with jam, you're missing out. The baked salmon was cooked so well. It was so juicy, so moist, but also cooked well enough that it kind of just flaked and fell apart. It's amazing. The vegetable medallion was alright because, well, as much as I love broccoli, it's my favorite vegetable, I wish that the vegetable medallion tasted like a bunch of other vegetables too, not just potato and broccoli. So the plant-based meatballs were actually quite interesting. They were a little bit sweeter than the classic IKEA meatballs. Generally taste the same, however, the texture is where you can tell the difference. But if I hadn't just had a meatball right before this, I would have probably thought it was a legit meatball. It's really good. I highly recommend it if your diet is more plant-based. It's quite decent. And the pasta, I had to remind myself it was not bolognese because at first I was looking for the meat. But it is a very clean and refreshing pasta. It's very straight to the point, as with all the other dishes from this restaurant. I do recommend it, but I also wouldn't recommend it if you're not into pastas that much. As for our drinks, we tried the sparkling lingonberry, which did not taste the way I expected it to. I expected it to taste as sweet as the jam that's served with the meatballs, but it's not. It's actually very refreshing and crisp and not too sweet, along with the sparkling pear. The sparkling pear has a very strong, distinct smell of pear, but when you drink the actual drink, it's very light, also refreshing and very crisp, and the fact that it was unlimited was so nice. As you guys know, I have quite the sweet tooth. The flavor of the apple pie was on point. I just think it was a little bit too doughy. I felt like there was too much dough and too little apple. So I wish they had changed that up, but the flavor was incredible. It tasted like a legitimate apple pie. The crunchy chocolate cake was also incredible. Flavor-wise, it reminded me of a Toblerone, but texture-wise, it reminded me of a crunch chocolate bar. I do prefer the chocolate cake a bit more, but I do highly recommend that you try either of the two if ever you drop by Ikea's restaurant. So, that was Ikea. It was so much more exhausting than I thought it would be. That's tiring. My feet hurt. So, honestly, the food was good. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like it because I'm just so tired, but the food was good. You could see it in my expressions in the video, especially, I mean, I'm a sucker for Ikea meatballs. It has been one of my favorite snacks ever since I was a kid. Every time my family and I go to Ikea, I will never leave without eating. Like, I have to have Ikea food. It's just one of my favorite, like, food ever. Call it shallow, but that's just how I view Ikea food. So the food isn't bad. The food is good. It's just, was it worth the wait? I don't know. So being 100% honest with you, as much as I love Ikea and as much as I recommend it to people, I don't suggest that you go anytime soon, because I just don't think the wait is worth it. Technically in my case it was, because I finally got to eat after waiting so long, but you know, maybe wait until it's less crowded. I will admit that for an opening day, I can't blame Ikea. Maybe they didn't anticipate just how crowded it would be, but it was very crowded, and I was lucky that I went to the restaurant at a time where it wasn't really like common eating times. It wasn't lunchtime and it wasn't dinner time either. It was in the middle. So my waiting time was just an hour, but I assume if you were to go at like regular eating times, waiting time would probably be 2 hours, maybe even more. And I don't think you need to wait that long for food. The food was great, but I endured the waiting and the stress to let you know that I don't think it's worth it. There are other things you can do with your time, and my personal recommendation is you go when it's less crowded. But the food itself is great. But the experience was really... Being honest, I really didn't think it was gonna be that crowded. And I know you guys might say, well, you know, it's Ikea. It's the biggest Ikea in the world. Everyone wants to go. I know that, but I thought the point of having appointments or booking slots was that so it doesn't get that crowded. So that's why I booked a slot like the moment it was announced, because I didn't want to miss a slot, and I thought that they'd be able to regulate how many people go. Honest to gee, I did not expect that many people to be there. And if I had known, then I wouldn't have gone, because let's not forget, we still are in the middle of a pandemic. So let me know what you guys think of the situation. I know the internet is currently like 50-50 about it. Some people are like, yeah, do what makes you happy, but also, no, that's a lot of people. And so am I. I am 50-50. So I want to know what you think of the whole situation. Do you think it was a good idea? Do you think it was a bad idea? And if you managed to go to Ikea, let me know what you think of the food as well. Do you recommend it to everyone else who's watching this? Please let us know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, I hope you don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the HUBient channel, and ring that bell so you are notified every time we upload a brand new video. Again, my name is Nikki, and I'm so glad that I met you here today. Until the next video, bye!